The sky above the Veltari homeworld burned with streaks of red and orange. Explosions lit up the darkness as enemy ships rained destruction from orbit. Ambassador Liss stood in the central command chamber, her delicate hands trembling as she watched the protective shield around her planet flicker and fade. "How long?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. The technician beside her checked the readings. His face was pale. 72 hours, maybe less. The shields cannot hold much longer. Liss felt her legs weaken. The Veltari were a peaceful people. They had spent thousands of years building a civilization based on art, science, and harmony. They had no weapons, no soldiers, no way to fight back against the Kreth Empire that now circled their world like hungry predators. The Kreth had come 3 months ago with a simple demand: surrender or die. The Veltari had refused to become slaves. Now they would pay the price. "What about our allies?" Liss asked. "Did the Triangulum Coalition receive our message?" The technician shook his head. No response. "The Kreth are jamming all our standard communications. Nothing gets through." Liss closed her eyes. She thought of the children in the shelters below, the artists who would never finish their paintings, the musicians whose songs would be silenced forever. Her people did not deserve this fate. "There is one option," the technician said quietly. "The ancient beacon." Liss looked at him sharply. "The quantum entanglement device? That has not been used in over 1,000 years. It works on different principles than our normal communications," he explained. "The Kreth jamming will not affect it. It should reach the Triangulum Coalition directly." "Should?" Liss repeated. The technician hesitated. "The device is old. We are not certain it still functions properly. But it is our only chance." Liss did not need to think long. She nodded. "Activate it. Send the distress call to our allies. Tell them we need immediate military assistance." The technician rushed to the ancient console in the corner of the chamber. It was covered in dust. No one had touched it in centuries. He powered it up, and the old machine hummed to life. Strange symbols appeared on the screen. "Entering the Triangulum Coalition coordinates," he said, his fingers moving quickly. "Composing the distress message, activating quantum transmission in 3, 2, 1. A brilliant blue light filled the chamber. Energy crackled through the air. The beacon sent its cry for help across the vast distance of space, reaching through the fabric of reality itself. What neither Liss nor the technician knew was that the ancient device had degraded over the centuries. The quantum entanglement had shifted. The beacon did not reach the Triangulum galaxy as intended. Instead, it punched through space in a completely different direction, traveling farther than ever designed. The signal crossed the infinite dark between galaxies and emerged in the Milky Way. Captain Taemin Choi was reviewing supply reports when the alarm sounded on the bridge of the UES Indomitable. He looked up from his datapad, immediately alert. "Report," he ordered. Lieutenant Soman Park at the communication station frowned at her screen. "Sir, we are picking up a strange signal. I have never seen anything like this before." "Origin?" Taemin asked, moving to stand behind her. "That is the weird part, sir. The signal is not coming from our galaxy. The quantum signature suggests it originated from outside the Milky Way entirely." Taemin felt a chill run down his spine. The human exploration fleet had been traveling in deep space for 2 years, mapping the outer edges of their galaxy. They had encountered dozens of alien species, some friendly, some hostile. But a signal from beyond their galaxy, that was unprecedented. "Can you decode it?" he asked. Soman worked at her console, running the signal through the ship's translation programs. "It is heavily distorted. The language is unknown, but I am picking up universal mathematical patterns. Give me a few minutes." Taemin watched as she worked. Around the bridge, the other crew members had stopped their tasks to watch. Everyone understood this was something significant. "Got it," Somin said finally. Partial translation only, but enough to understand the basics. She looked up at Taemin, her face serious. Sir, it is a distress call. A species called the Veltari are under attack. They are requesting immediate military assistance. Their shields are failing. They have approximately 72 hours before their planet falls. Where are they? Taemin asked. Andromeda Galaxy, about 2.5 million light-years from our current position. A heavy silence fell over the bridge. That distance was impossible. Even with humanity's fastest ships, it would take years to reach Andromeda using conventional faster-than-light travel. Sir, said Commander Jiho Nam from the tactical station, this is not our problem. We are an exploration fleet, not a rescue service. Andromeda is not even our galaxy. Taemin knew Jiho was right from a practical standpoint. They had no obligation to help people so far away. Their mission was to explore and map, not to play hero across the universe. But Taemin also knew something else. He knew that humanity had a code. When someone called for help, you answered. It did not matter if they were stranger or friend. It did not matter how far away they were. If you could help, you did. How many ships do we have in the fleet? Taemin asked. 24 vessels, sir, Jiho replied. Mostly cruisers and destroyers, a few support craft. Taemin turned to Somin. Can we respond to their signal? Yes, sir. Same quantum channel. Send a message. Tell them help is coming. Taemin moved to the captain's chair and sat down. Navigation. Plot a course to these coordinates. I want options for getting to Andromeda Galaxy as fast as possible. The navigation officer looked shocked. Sir, even using the experimental fold drive, that is incredibly dangerous. We have never attempted an intergalactic jump before. The power requirements alone... I did not ask if it was safe, Taemin interrupted calmly. I asked for options. Yes, sir. The officer bent over his console. Jiho stepped closer to Taemin's chair, lowering his voice. Captain, think about this. We could be walking into a trap. We know nothing about these Veltari or their enemies. We would be risking the entire fleet. Taemin looked at his old friend. You are right. This could be a disaster. But there is a species out there that is about to be wiped out. They sent a cry for help into the darkness, and we heard it. What does it say about us if we ignore that? Jiho held his gaze for a long moment, then nodded slowly. You are the captain. I will follow your orders. Good. Get your Marines ready. If we are doing this, we are doing it right. Taemin raised his voice. All hands, this is the captain. We have received a distress call from another galaxy. A peaceful civilization is under attack and will be destroyed within 3 days. I am ordering the fleet to respond. This will be dangerous. This will push our ships and our technology to the limits. But this is why we are out here. This is what it means to be human. We help those who cannot help themselves. All ships, prepare for fold drive activation. We are going to Andromeda. The crew moved with purpose, preparing for the impossible jump. Taemin watched the stars outside the viewport and hoped they would arrive in time. The fold drive engaged with a sound like reality tearing apart. The human fleet disappeared from the Milky Way in a flash of distorted light and emerged in Andromeda space 27 hours later. Every ship was battered from the journey. Alarms blared on multiple decks, but they had made it. Status report, Taemin ordered, gripping his chair as the ship shuddered. All ships accounted for, Jiho reported. Minor damage across the fleet. No casualties. Engineering teams are working on repairs. Sensor sweep. Find that planet. Somin worked her console. Got it, sir. Veltari homeworld detected. Distance, 4 light hours. And Captain, there are a lot of ships around it. The tactical display lit up with red dots. Hundreds of them. They surrounded the blue marker that represented the Veltari planet, like a swarm of insects. Count, Taman asked. 217 hostile vessels, Jiho said quietly. They are large, too. Dreadnought class and above. Taman studied the display. 24 human ships against over 200 alien warships. The odds were not good, but they had not come this far to turn back now. Take us in. Combat speed. All ships. Battle formation Delta. The human fleet accelerated toward the Veltari homeworld. On the planet's surface, Ambassador Liss received the alert that new ships had appeared in the system. For a moment, hope filled her heart. Then she saw the sensor data. Only 24 ships? She said in disbelief. The Triangulum Coalition sent only 24 ships. The technician was reading the detailed scans. His face showed confusion. Ambassador, these vessels are not from the Coalition. The quantum signature is wrong. These ships are... I do not know what they are. The design is primitive. Heavy armor plating, basic energy weapons. They look like relics from 1,000 years ago. Liss felt her hope crumble. Their beacon had malfunctioned. Instead of reaching their powerful allies, it had somehow contacted a small fleet of outdated vessels. They were doomed. Try to communicate with them, she said wearily. At least thank them for trying. Salmon's console chimed. Sir, receiving transmission from the planet. Audio only. Translating now. A gentle voice filled the bridge, speaking accented but understandable English. Unknown vessels, this is Ambassador Liss of the Veltari people. We thank you for responding to our distress call, but I must warn you. The Kreth Empire has over 200 warships. We do not know how our beacon reached you or where you came from, but you should leave while you can. You cannot defeat such a force. Taman gestured to Soman. Open a channel. Channel open, sir. Ambassador Liss, this is Captain Taman Choi of the United Earthship Indomitable. We received your distress call in the Milky Way galaxy. We came to help. There was a long silence. Then Liss spoke again, her voice shaking. The Milky Way? That is another galaxy entirely. You came from another galaxy to help us? Yes, ma'am. Now please transmit all available data on the Kreth forces, ship classifications, weapons capabilities, tactical patterns, everything you have. Captain Choi, you do not understand. These are only 24 ships. The Kreth will destroy you. Taman smiled slightly. Ambassador, we are from Earth. I think you will find we are harder to destroy than we look. Send us that data. The information came through moments later. Salman analyzed it quickly. Sir, Kreth vessels rely heavily on energy shields and plasma weapons. Shields are extremely strong, but their hull armor is relatively light. They use swarm tactics and overwhelming firepower. Good, Taman said. That works in our favor. Jiho looked at him. How do you figure that, sir? They are used to fighting enemies who use the same technology they do. Energy weapons against energy shields. They have never fought anyone like us. Before Jiho could respond, another transmission came through. This one was harsh and aggressive. A reptilian face appeared on the main view screen. It was covered in dark scales and had burning orange eyes. Unidentified vessels. This is War Prince Thex of the Kreth Empire. You have entered a designated conquest zone. Identify yourselves immediately or be destroyed. Taman stood up from his chair. War Prince Thex, I am Captain Taman Choi. We are here to assist the Veltari people. Your attack on them ends now. You have 60 minutes to withdraw your forces from this system. This is your only warning. Thex stared at him for a moment, then threw his head back and laughed. It was a horrible sound, like metal scraping on stone. You warn me? You have 24 tiny ships. I have conquered civilizations with armadas of thousands. Your technology is primitive. Your vessels look like scrap metal. 59 minutes, Taman said calmly. Thex's eyes narrowed. You dare mock the Kreth Empire? We will crush you first and then finish these pathetic Veltari. All ships, destroy the unknown vessels. The transmission cut off. The tactical display showed the Kreth fleet moving into attack formation. Taman sat back down. Well, we tried diplomacy. All ships, weapons free. Show them what Earth builds when we expect to be in a fight. The first wave of Kreth vessels opened fire. Blue plasma bolts streaked across space, slamming into the human ships. The bridge shook from the impacts. Shields, Taman asked. We do not have shields, sir, Jiho reminded him. Just armor. Right. So how is our armor holding up? Soman checked the damage reports. Minimal damage. The plasma is dispersing against our hull plating. It is designed to penetrate energy shields, not physical armor. Taman nodded. Their weapons are meant to crack shields and then damage the weak hull underneath. But we never developed shield technology. We built our ships to take hits directly. Return fire. Railguns, full power. The UES Indomitable's main guns rotated into position. They were massive magnetic accelerators that fired solid tungsten slugs at incredible speeds. Nothing fancy. Just dense metal moving at a significant fraction of light speed. The railguns fired. The tungsten rounds crossed the distance in seconds. The Kreth shields, designed to absorb and deflect energy weapons, did absolutely nothing against solid projectiles. The rounds punched straight through the shields like they were not even there and tore into the Kreth ship's light armor. 3 Kreth vessels exploded in the first volley. On the Veltari homeworld, scientist Denna watched the battle through her telescope. She could not believe what she was seeing. The primitive-looking human ships were tearing through Kreth vessels like they were made of paper. How? She whispered. How are they doing this? The technician beside her was running calculations. The humans are not using energy weapons. They are using kinetic projectiles, physical mass. The Kreth shields do not work against that kind of attack. But that is ancient technology. Throwing rocks. Rocks moving at near light speed, the technician corrected. And the Kreth armor cannot handle it. Look at the human ships. They are built like fortresses. Thick armor everywhere. They do not dodge. They just take the hits and keep firing. Denna watched as more Kreth ships exploded. The human fleet was not even trying to avoid the plasma fire. They just sailed straight into the enemy formation, absorbing damage that would have destroyed any other vessel and killing Kreth ships with every shot. What kind of species builds ships like that? Denna asked in awe and terror. In space, Squadron Leader Wu Jin Lee led his fighter wing out of the Indomitable's launch bay. His small craft was fast and heavily armed for its size. He accelerated toward the Kreth formation, his wingmates following close behind. All fighters, this is lead. Pick your targets and remember your training. These aliens have never seen human pilots before. Let us show them what we can do. The fighters dove into the battle. Kreth point defense systems tried to track them, but the human craft moved in ways that defied the Kreth targeting computers. Wu Jin pulled a 12G turn that would have killed most alien species. His G-suit squeezed his body, keeping blood in his brain. He lined up a shot and fired his missiles. The Kreth had no defense against the swarm tactics of human fighters. The small craft were too fast, too unpredictable. They slipped between the larger ships, firing at vulnerable points, then racing away before return fire could catch them. War Prince Thex watched his fleet dying and could not understand what was happening. These humans fought like nothing he had ever encountered. They used primitive weapons that somehow bypassed all Kreth defenses. They flew in ways that should be impossible. They absorbed damage that should have vaporized them. All ships, retreat, he ordered. Retreat to Rally Point Gamma. The remaining Kreth vessels turned and fled into faster-than-light travel. In less than 3 hours, the human fleet had destroyed over half of Thex's armada and sent the rest running. Taman watched them go. Casualty report. Minor injuries across the fleet. No deaths. Hull damage is repairable. Taman nodded. Signal the Veltari homeworld. Tell them they are safe. For now. Ambassador Liss stood in the landing area, waiting. Around her, thousands of Veltari had gathered to see the beings who had saved them. The crowd was silent, uncertain. Yes, the humans had driven away the Kreth, but what did they know about these strange creatures from another galaxy? The human shuttle descended from the sky, landing with a heavy thud that shook the ground. Liss noticed immediately that it was built like everything else the humans made, thick, practical, designed to survive rather than to impress. The boarding ramp lowered. Captain Taemin Choi emerged first, followed by his senior officers. The Veltari gasped. The humans were tall, much taller than Veltari. They moved with easy confidence, their bodies clearly built for strength. But what struck Liss most was their eyes. They scanned the crowd constantly, always watching, always alert. These were predators' eyes. Taemin approached Liss and stopped at a respectful distance. He smiled, and Liss saw teeth designed for tearing meat. She suppressed a shudder. "Ambassador Liss," Taemin said, bowing his head slightly. "It is an honor to meet you in person." Liss found her voice. "Captain Choi, you saved my people. We owe you a debt we can never repay." "No debt necessary. You called for help. We answered. That is what civilized beings do." Liss studied him carefully. Despite his fearsome appearance, his voice was gentle. His movements were controlled, non-threatening. He was trying to put her at ease. "Please," she said, "come with me. Our council wishes to meet you and offer our gratitude properly." They walked through the city toward the council chambers. The Veltari crowd parted before them, staring at the humans with wide eyes. Lieutenant Salman Park walked beside Liss, looking around with fascination. "Your city is beautiful," Salman said. "We have never seen architecture like this." Liss smiled, despite her nervousness. "We are artists and builders. It is what we do best. We are not—" She hesitated. "We are not warriors." "Most species are not," Salman replied. "You should not feel shame for choosing peace." They reached the council chambers, a great dome made of crystal that caught the light in wonderful ways. Inside, the Veltari Council waited. Scientist Denna was there too, unable to contain her curiosity about these strange saviors. The chief counselor, an elderly Veltari named Oren, gestured for the humans to sit. Special chairs had been prepared, stronger than normal Veltari furniture. "Captain Choi," Oren began, "we have many questions. But first, please tell us, how did you receive our beacon? It was meant for the Triangulum Galaxy." Taemin glanced at Soman, who pulled out a datapad. "We analyzed your beacon's quantum signature. The device is very old, yes? The entanglement pattern had degraded over time. Instead of connecting to Triangulum, it shifted dimensionally and reached our galaxy instead." "An accident," Liss breathed. "We called the wrong galaxy entirely." "A fortunate accident for us," Taemin said. "We are always eager to meet new species and help where we can." Denna leaned forward. "Captain, I watched the battle. Your tactics, your weapons, your ships, everything is so different from any military force I have studied. Why do you not use energy shields?" Commander Jiho spoke up. "We tried shield technology early in our development. It never worked well for us. So we focused on what we knew: strong materials, thick armor, projectile weapons. We built ships that could take damage and keep fighting." "But the way your pilots moved," Denna pressed. "The acceleration forces should have killed them. We calculated 12G turns. That would crush our organs." "Earth's gravity is higher than yours," Somin explained gently. "We evolved in a stronger gravitational field. Our bodies can handle more stress." Oren looked troubled. "Captain Choi, we accessed the Galactic database after the battle. We found information about your species. Earth is classified as a Class 12 death world, the highest danger rating possible." A heavy silence fell over the chamber. The Veltari council members shifted uncomfortably. Taman nodded slowly. I see. You are afraid of us now. We do not know what to think, Orin admitted. You saved us, yes. But the database says your planet is a nightmare. Extreme weather, dangerous predators, toxic atmosphere to most species, crushing gravity. You evolved in conditions that would kill most civilized beings within hours. That is all true, Taman said calmly. Earth is a harsh world. It made us tough. It made us fighters. But it also made us survivors. We learned to work together to help each other because alone we would die. We must show you something, said cultural liaison Dong-Yun Shin. He stood and activated a holographic projector. With your permission? Orin nodded. The hologram showed Earth from space, beautiful blues and greens and whites. Then it zoomed in, showing massive storms larger than entire Veltari continents. Mountains that pierced the clouds, oceans so deep the pressure would crush metal. This is our home, Dong-Yun said. These storms can destroy cities. We built cities anyway. These mountains can freeze you solid. We climbed them anyway. These oceans can swallow ships. We sailed them anyway. The hologram changed, showing human history. Early humans hunting massive animals, building shelters against impossible weather, surviving ice ages and volcanic eruptions. We did not start as warriors, Dong-Yun continued. We started as clever apes trying not to die. Everything on our world wanted to kill us. The weather, the predators, the diseases. So we learned. We adapted. We survived. Ship's anthropologist, Nari Bai, stood next. Every human child learns basic medical care by age 10. We teach them how to treat wounds, broken bones, and shock. Not because we are violent, but because accidents happen and help might not come quickly. We teach them navigation, Nari continued, how to find their way home if lost. We teach them to swim, even if they live far from water. We teach them to recognize dangerous situations and how to escape them. This is not military training. This is just childhood. The Veltari looked horrified. Liss spoke quietly. You teach children these things? We must, Nari said simply. Earth demands it. Our world does not care if you are a child or an adult. The storm will come. The flood will rise. You must know how to survive. Denna was thinking rapidly. So when you sent soldiers to save us, these are not exceptional humans. This is normal for you. Master Chief Jiho is exceptional, Taman corrected. He is one of our finest warriors. But yes, every human on my ships knows how to fight if they must. They also know medicine, engineering, and survival skills. We are scientists and explorers who can fight, not soldiers who dabble in science. Orin sat back, overwhelmed. I think I am beginning to understand. You are not a warrior species. You are a survivor species who had to become warriors. Exactly, Taman said. We did not want to be fighters. Our planet gave us no choice. But we chose what kind of fighters to be. We chose to protect, not conquer. We chose to help, not harm. Liss felt something shift in her heart. The fear was still there, but it was mixed with something else now, wonder and hope. Captain Choi, she said, what will you do now? Will you return to your galaxy? Before Taman could answer, alarms blared throughout the city. A technician rushed into the chamber. War Prince Thex has sent a message, the technician said, breathless. He has called for reinforcements from the Kreth home fleets. 600 warships are coming. They will arrive in 7 days. The council erupted in panic. 600 ships. The humans had barely survived fighting 200. Taman stood calmly. Then we have 7 days to prepare. Orin looked at him in disbelief. Captain, you cannot fight 600 warships with 24 vessels. This is suicide. Maybe, Taman agreed, if we fight alone. Ambassador Liss, you said your people are builders and artists. not warriors. But you have technology we have never dreamed of. Your shield generators are incredibly advanced. Your faster-than-light communications span galaxies. Your manufacturing capabilities are beyond our current knowledge." He looked around the council chamber. "We have something you need: experience in combat and survival. You have something we need: advanced technology and industrial capacity. What if we combined our strengths?" "You want us to fight?" Denna asked, shocked. "I want to teach you to defend yourselves," Taman corrected. "The Kreth will not stop coming. Even if we win this battle, they will return. But if we work together for the next 7 days, we can build something that will make them think twice about ever attacking you again." Liz looked at her fellow council members. She saw fear in their eyes. But she also saw determination. The Veltari had chosen peace, yes, but they had also chosen to survive. "We accept," Liz said. "Teach us, help us. We will do whatever it takes." Taman smiled. "Then let's get to work. We don't have much time." The first day was chaos. Master Chief Jiho stood in a training facility looking at the 200 Veltari volunteers who had stepped forward to learn combat. They were terrified, but determined. He could work with that. "Listen up," Jiho said, keeping his voice firm but not harsh. "I am not going to turn you into human soldiers. Your bodies are different. Your culture is different. What I will teach you is how to think tactically and how to use your strengths." A young Veltari named Kess raised his hand. "But we have no strengths in combat. We are weak and slow compared to you." Jiho shook his head. "Wrong. You are lighter than us, which means you can move in low-gravity environments where we would be clumsy. Your hands are more precise than ours. I watched you assemble technology we could never build. Your reaction time is faster because your nervous system is optimized differently." He walked among them. "Combat is not just about being strong. It is about using what you have effectively. Now, let us begin with basic tactical thinking. Imagine a Kreth soldier is in this room. You are unarmed. What do? "Run," Kess suggested. "Good start. Run where? Just away or toward something useful? Toward an exit? Maybe. Or toward anything that can be a weapon. Or toward a position where the enemy cannot follow easily. Running is not cowardice. Running smartly is survival." Jiho smiled. "Let us practice. I am the Kreth soldier. Show me how you would escape this room." While Jiho trained the volunteers, engineer Hyunwoo Go worked with Veltari scientists in their industrial centers. He stood before a massive mining laser used to cut through asteroids. "This is incredible," Hyunwoo said, examining the controls. "The energy output is enormous." "You use this for mining?" Scientist Denna nodded. "Yes, it can cut through solid rock from orbit." "It can also cut through Kreth ships," Hyunwoo said thoughtfully. "With some modifications. Can you build more of these?" "In 7 days? Perhaps 20 more units. Make it 30 if you can, and I need them mobile. Can you mount them on defensive platforms?" Denna's eyes widened as she understood. "You want to turn our mining equipment into weapons?" "Your tools were never meant to hurt anyone," Hyunwoo agreed. "But tools can be repurposed. A hammer builds homes, but it can also defend them. Show me your manufacturing capabilities." What Hyunwoo saw amazed him. The Veltari could fabricate complex machinery in hours that would take human factories days to produce. Their 3D printing technology was centuries ahead of Earth's. Within 3 days, they had converted 30 mining lasers into orbital defense platforms and installed them around the planet. On the human ships, Veltari engineers worked alongside their human counterparts. They studied the human railgun technology with fascination. "It is so simple," one engineer said to Lieutenant Somin. "Just magnetic acceleration of a dense projectile." "Simple does not mean ineffective," Somin replied. "Sometimes the old ways work best." But look at this. Your shield technology. If we could integrate it with our ships, the power requirements would be enormous. Your fusion reactors are far more efficient than ours. Could you build smaller versions? They worked together, combining Veltari shield generators with human ship hulls. It was not perfect. The shields could not stop kinetic weapons any better than the Kreth shields could, but they would help against energy weapons, giving the human ships another layer of defense. Combat medic Hanayun set up a medical center on the Veltari homeworld. She studied their biology carefully, noting how fragile they seemed compared to humans. Their bones were lighter. Their skin was thinner. They could not tolerate pain the way humans could. "I need to train your medical staff," Hana told the chief physician. "When the battle comes, there will be casualties. Your people need to know how to treat injuries quickly." The Veltari doctor looked uncomfortable. "We are healers, not battlefield medics." "I know, but healing is healing, whether in a hospital or in a war zone. The principles are the same. Let me show you trauma care procedures, how to stop bleeding, how to treat shock, how to stabilize critical injuries until proper care is available." The doctor hesitated, then nodded. "Teach us." By the fourth day, the transformation was visible. The Veltari moved with more purpose. The orbital defense platforms were online. The human fleet had been refitted with Veltari shields and improved reactors. Diplomatic strategist Jiwan Chai had been busy too. She had sent messages to other civilizations in Andromeda, telling them what the humans had done for the Veltari. 3 species have responded, Jiwan reported to Captain Taman. The Orvix, the Plenny, and the Vosh. All of them are neutral worlds who fear the Kreth. They want to help. "How many ships?" Taman asked. "The Orvix can send 30 vessels. The Plenny have 20. The Vosh can contribute 16. All of them are defensive ships, not military, but they are willing to fight." Taman did the math. 24 human ships plus 66 allied vessels. 90 total against 600 Kreth. Still terrible odds, but better. "Accept their help. Send them our tactical plans. We will need every ship we can get." On the 5th day, Defense Coordinator Marin watched Jiho training the Veltari volunteers. She was impressed by how far they had come. They would never be warriors like the humans, but they had learned to think tactically. "Master Chief," Marin said during a break, "may I ask you something?" "Of course." "Your training methods are strange. You do not teach aggression. You teach controlled response. You teach them to be afraid, but not to panic. Why?" Jiho sat down on a bench. "Because fear is natural. Fear keeps you alive. The trick is not to eliminate fear, but to work with it. A fearless soldier is dangerous to everyone, including their own team. A soldier who is afraid but controls that fear is reliable." "You also teach mercy," Marin observed. "Even in combat scenarios, you teach them to disable rather than kill when possible." "Killing should always be the last option," Jiho said firmly. "We are not monsters. We fight to protect, not to murder. If an enemy can be stopped without dying, we stop them. If they must die to protect innocent lives, we do not hesitate. But we do not enjoy it." Marin nodded slowly. "I think I understand now why the database calls you Deathworlders, but also why you came to help us. You are dangerous, yes, but you are dangerous to those who threaten others, not dangerous to everyone." "That is the goal," Jiho agreed. "We are not perfect, but we try." By the 6th day, Squadron Leader Wu Jin had trained 30 Veltari pilots in basic fighter operations. They would never match human reflexes, but they did not need to. The Veltari had different advantages. "Your ships are faster than ours," Wu Jin explained to his students. "Your reaction time is better in some ways. You process visual information faster than humans do. Use that. Do not try to dogfight like we do. Use hit-and-run tactics. Strike fast and get out before they can respond. The Veltari pilots practiced in simulators. They were clumsy at first, but they learned quickly. Their natural precision with controls helped them master the fighter systems faster than Wu Jin had expected. On the 7th day, the Allied fleet gathered in orbit around the Veltari homeworld. 90 ships from 4 different species, all preparing to face 600 Kreth vessels. Ambassador Lise visited the Indomitable one last time before the battle. She found Captain Taman on the bridge, reviewing tactical displays. "Captain," she said quietly, "thank you for everything. You did not have to stay and help us prepare. You could have left after the first battle." Taman looked at her. "We could have. But that would not have solved your problem. The Kreth would have returned eventually. This way, you have a chance to defend yourselves even after we are gone. Will you leave after the battle?" "If we survive, yes. We have a galaxy of our own to explore. But we will leave you with the knowledge we shared, and a communication link. If you need help again, you can call us." Liz felt tears forming. "I was so afraid of you when you first arrived. You looked like creatures from a nightmare. But I was wrong. You are not monsters. You are friends." "We are whatever we choose to be," Taman said. "That is true for every species. The Kreth chose to be conquerors. You chose to be artists. We chose to be explorers who help those in need. Our planets shaped us, but they do not define us." The proximity alarms sounded. Soman looked up from her console, her face grim. "Sir, multiple faster-than-light signatures detected. 612 Kreth vessels emerging from hyperspace. Distance, 2 light hours and closing." Taman took a deep breath. "This is it. Signal all ships. Battle stations. Today we show the Kreth what happens when you threaten peaceful people. Today we show them that some fights are worth having, no matter the odds." Throughout the Allied fleet, crews prepared for battle. Human, Veltari, Orvix, Plenny, and Vosh working together. 7 days ago, they had been strangers. Now they fought as one. War Prince Thex sat in his command ship, watching the tactical display with satisfaction. 600 warships. More than enough to crush these upstart humans and their pathetic allies. "All ships, attack formation," he ordered. "No survivors this time. Destroy them all." The Kreth armada advanced. The Allied fleet held position, waiting. The second battle for the Veltari homeworld was about to begin. The Kreth armada came like a wave of death, 600 warships arranged in hunting formations that had crushed countless civilizations. War Prince Thex watched the pitiful defensive fleet ahead and smiled. 90 ships. They had gathered allies, and it still would not matter. "Begin the attack," Thex ordered. "Drive them before us like prey." The Kreth fleet opened fire. Thousands of plasma bolts streaked across space, a storm of blue fire that would have vaporized any normal defense. But Captain Taman had not built a normal defense. "Now," he said calmly. The Allied fleet scattered in perfect coordination, breaking into pre-planned formations. The Kreth weapons passed through empty space where ships had been moments before. And as the Kreth vessels advanced, they entered the kill zone. The 30 mining lasers, repurposed by engineer Hyunwoo and the Veltari scientists, activated from their positions across the planet's orbital space. They had been disguised as debris and satellites. Now they revealed their true nature. Brilliant red beams lanced out, each one powerful enough to slice through asteroid rock. They found Kreth ships and cut into them with precision. Shields designed for plasma weapons offered no protection against concentrated laser-cutting beams. 10 Kreth ships died in the first 3 seconds. "What is this?" Thex roared. "Those are mining tools. How dare they use industrial equipment as weapons?" Tactical Officer Minji Kang watched the battle display with satisfaction. "The Kreth are confused. They expected a traditional battle. We are giving them anything but that." The human railgun ships formed the core of the defense, their heavy armor absorbing Kreth plasma fire. The Veltari shield generators helped, deflecting some of the energy weapons, but it was the thick hull plating that kept the ships alive. The Indomitable fired its main guns. Tungsten slugs punched through Kreth shields and hulls. Each shot was calculated for maximum effect, targeting command ships and carrier vessels. The Kreth were packed too closely together, a formation designed for overwhelming firepower but vulnerable to weapons that did not care about shields. The Orvix ships moved into position, their role to provide covering fire while the human ships reloaded. Their weapons were less powerful but more numerous, keeping the Kreth occupied. The plenty vessels, built for speed, darted through the battlefield carrying the Veltari pilots that Wu Jin had trained. They launched their fighter wings, small craft that streaked toward Kreth weak points. The Veltari fighters moved differently than human ones. They did not pull impossible G-forces or engage in close dogfights. Instead, they used their superior visual processing and precision controls to execute hit-and-run attacks. Strike the engines, disable the weapons, then retreat before the enemy could respond. "They are actually doing it," Wu Jin said with pride as he watched the Veltari pilots perform. "Kess, nice shot on that destroyer's reactor." The Vosh contributed their expertise in electronic warfare. Their ships did not have powerful weapons, but they could scramble Kreth communications and targeting systems. Across the battlefield, Kreth vessels found their sensors giving false readings, their commands not reaching other ships, their coordination falling apart. Defense Coordinator Marin commanded the Veltari ground forces from the planetary surface. The 200 volunteers that Jiho had trained were positioned at strategic points, ready to repel any landing attempts. "Remember your training," Marin said over the communication channel. "Fear is normal. Control it. Use your environment. Protect each other." The Kreth, frustrated by the orbital battle, attempted to send landing craft to the surface. They thought the Veltari would be easy prey on the ground. They were wrong. The landing craft entered the atmosphere and immediately came under fire from the converted mining lasers. Most were destroyed before they could land. The few that made it found that the gentle Veltari had learned well. The Veltari did not fight like humans. They used the terrain, luring Kreth soldiers into prepared positions. They used technology, deploying drones and automated defenses. When they had to fight directly, they fought smart, disabling weapons, creating barriers, working in perfect coordination. One Kreth soldier cornered a Veltari volunteer in a building. The soldier raised his weapon, confident in his victory. Then the ceiling collapsed on him, dropped by precision charges the Veltari had placed before the battle. The Veltari escaped through a prepared tunnel. Jiho watched the ground battle feeds and nodded with approval. "They are not trying to be human warriors. They are being Veltari warriors. That is exactly right." In space, the battle reached its critical point. The Kreth had lost over 100 ships, but still vastly outnumbered the defenders. Thex reformed his fleet, pulling back to regroup. "They are learning," Minji warned. "They will not fall for the same tricks twice." Taemin knew she was right. "Then we change the game. All ships fall back to the planet. Make them think we are retreating." The Allied fleet pulled back toward the Veltari homeworld. The Kreth, smelling victory, pursued eagerly. They charged forward, right into the asteroid belt that orbited the planet. The Veltari had been mining these asteroids for centuries. They knew every rock, every trajectory, every hiding place, and in the past 7 days, they had prepared surprises. "Detonate the charges," Taemin ordered. Throughout the asteroid belt, carefully placed explosives activated. Massive rocks that had been precisely positioned now moved on new trajectories. The Kreth fleet found itself navigating a sudden storm of debris. Ships collided with asteroids. Navigation became impossible. The tight Kreth formations broke apart in chaos, and waiting in ambush positions among the rocks were the Allied ships. The battle became a brutal close-range fight. Human ships used the asteroids as cover, popping out to fire and then retreating behind rock. The Veltari miners, who had worked these belts their entire lives, guided Allied ships through paths the Kreth could not follow. Wu Jin led his fighters in a daring attack using an asteroid tunnel to approach a Kreth carrier from an unexpected angle. His squadron destroyed the carrier's launch bays before it could deploy more fighters. Combat medic Hana worked frantically in the medical bay. Wounded crew members came in from battle damage. She had trained the Veltari medical staff well. They worked alongside human medics now, treating injuries with practiced efficiency. "You are doing great," Hana told a Veltari doctor as they stabilized a human patient with broken ribs. "Keep pressure on that wound while I prep the repair gel." "I never thought I would be treating combat injuries," the doctor said. "I hope you never have to again after today," Hana replied. "But now you know you can." Thex watched his fleet being torn apart and felt something he had never experienced before: doubt. These defenders fought with impossible coordination. Every move seemed planned, every trap perfectly timed. How were they doing this? "Sir, the humans," his tactical officer reported. "They are not just fighting. They are teaching the others how to fight like them. The Veltari are using human tactics. The other species are following human leadership." Thex finally understood. This was not just a battle. This was a demonstration. The humans were showing the entire Andromeda galaxy that the Kreth could be beaten. That cooperation was stronger than conquest. "Target the human flagship," Thex ordered. "Kill their leader, and this alliance will crumble." 50 Kreth ships focused their fire on the Indomitable. The human vessel's shields flared and failed. Plasma burned through armor. The ship shuddered under the assault. "Hull breaches on multiple decks," Soman reported. "Shield generators offline. Armor at 40%. Taman gripped his chair. "Hold together, old girl. We are not done yet." Jiho rushed to the bridge with a team of Marines. "Sir, Kreth boarding parties are cutting through the hull. Give me 5 minutes, and we will handle them." "You have 3 minutes," Taman said. "After that, I am rolling the ship, and they will get crushed between our hull and that asteroid over there." Jiho grinned fiercely. 3 minutes. Got it." He led his Marines to the breach points. The Kreth soldiers came through, expecting easy prey. They found humans instead. The close-quarters combat was brutal and short. The Kreth were strong, but the humans were stronger. More importantly, the humans fought with coordinated precision that the Kreth could not match. 2 minutes, 30 seconds, Jiho reported. Breaches secured. But the Indomitable was heavily damaged. Thex saw his chance and ordered his command ship forward, intending to finish the human flagship personally. Then, Ambassador Liss did something no one expected. She took control of one of the mining laser platforms and fired at Thex's ship herself. The beam struck the Kreth command ship's bridge directly. Shields flickered and failed. Armor melted. Thex stared in disbelief at the readings. "Impossible," he whispered. "The Veltari do not fight. They are artists and builders." "We are whatever we choose to be," Liss said over an open channel, echoing Taman's words. "And today, we choose to defend our home." The laser cut deeper. Thex's ship began to break apart. With his last breath, the War Prince realized the truth. The humans had not just saved the Veltari. They had awakened them. With their leader dead and half their fleet destroyed, the remaining Kreth vessels retreated. They fled in disorder, no longer the confident conquerors but a broken force. The Allied fleet did not pursue. They held their position, defending their home. Silence fell over the battlefield. Then cheering erupted across all the Allied ships and on the planet below. They had won. Against impossible odds, they had won. 3 days later, Ambassador Liss stood in a ceremony hall with leaders from all 5 species that had fought together. Captain Taman and his senior officers were there, preparing to depart. "We are forming the Andromeda Mutual Defense Coalition," Liss announced. 4 species who will stand together against aggression. We invite others to join us, and we owe our existence to the humans from another galaxy who heard our cry and came to help. She turned to Taman. We can never repay what you did for us. Taman smiled. You already have. You proved that peaceful species can learn to defend themselves without losing who they are. You fought like Veltari, not like humans. That is the greatest success we could ask for. Liss handed him a small device. A quantum communicator. It is linked to ours. Distance means nothing to it. If you ever need help, call us. If we need help, we will call you. Friends across the galaxies, Taman said, accepting the device. I like that. Scientist Denna approached with a data crystal. Captain, I prepared a report for the Galactic Archives. I am reclassifying humanity. Yes, you come from a death world. Yes, you are dangerous. But you are dangerous only to those who threaten the innocent. The galaxy needs to know that. She paused. I am also recommending that the Andromeda Coalition establish formal diplomatic relations with Earth. We have much to teach each other. We would welcome that, Taman agreed. The humans returned to their ships. The Veltari gathered to watch them depart, no longer afraid of these strange beings from another galaxy, but grateful and hopeful. As the human fleet activated their fold drives, ready to jump back to the Milky Way, Samin looked at Taman. We came all this way for one distress call, she said. And we would do it again, Taman replied. That is what makes us human. Not where we come from or how tough we are, but the choice to help when someone needs it. The fold drives engaged. The human fleet vanished, returning to their home galaxy. Behind them, they left a safer Andromeda. They left new friends and allies. They left proof that species from different worlds, different galaxies even, could work together. And they left a message that would spread through the stars. When darkness threatens the innocent, somewhere in the universe, the Deathworlders will answer the call.